Imagine this. It's July 2026. MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. The final whistle blows. Argentina wins the World Cup for the second time in a row. And Messi, 38 years old, lifts the trophy again. Right there and then, you're not watching a footballer anymore. You're watching something that genuinely rewrites history. Messi already holds the record for most World Cup appearances ever, with 26 games. He has 13 career World Cup goals. He won the Golden Ball in both 2014 and 2022, the only player ever to do that. He has done everything there is to do in this sport. But a second World Cup title takes his story somewhere nobody else has ever been. What does it mean for the GOAT debate? For Maradona? For Pele? Let's break it all down. Let's start with the obvious one, the GOAT debate. For the better part of 15 years, football was split straight down the middle. Messi or Ronaldo. Two generational talents who pushed each other to heights nobody else has ever reached. And honestly, most people already had their answer after Qatar 2022, when Messi delivered arguably the greatest individual World Cup performance in tournament history. 7 goals, 3 assists, 5 Player of the Match awards in 7 games, and the Golden Ball. Ronaldo, across all 5 of his World Cups combined, managed 8 goals and 2 assists total. Messi matched that in a single tournament, in 2022 alone. Let that sit. But there are still people holding on to the debate. And look, Ronaldo is a genuine all-time great. Nobody is disputing that. 5 Champions League titles, 5 Ballon d'Or awards, and he's approaching 950 career top-tier goals. The resume is insane, but Ronaldo has never won a World Cup, not once in 5 attempts. The World Cup is the pinnacle. It is the one competition where you can't buy a super team. You represent your country. You get 5 chances in a career if you're lucky, and the whole planet is watching. Messi delivered. Ronaldo didn't. Now add a second World Cup in 2026, and the whole argument doesn't just end. It gets buried. And let's talk about what Argentina achieving this would actually mean on a historical level, because it's not just about Messi. If Argentina wins in 2026, they become only the 3rd team in history to win back-to-back World Cups. Only Italy in 1934 and 1938, and Brazil in 1958 and 1962 have ever done it. That is the bracket this Argentina team would be entering. For Messi personally, the records would keep stacking. He already holds the all-time record for most World Cup appearances. He already has the most goal contributions in the tournament since 1966 with 21 total. He is the only player in history to win 2 Golden Balls. A second World Cup title at 38 years old is the kind of achievement that doesn't need an argument. It speaks entirely for itself. Now let's zoom out, because a second World Cup for Messi isn't just a sporting achievement. It becomes a cultural moment that goes far beyond what happens on the pitch. Think about how complicated Messi's relationship with Argentina actually was for most of his career. For years, fans questioned whether he genuinely cared about the national team. He lost 3 Copa America finals in 2007, 2015, and 2016. He lost a World Cup final in 2014. The criticism was relentless. A lot of Argentines felt he never truly showed up for the blue and white the way he did for Barcelona. It was an unfair criticism, but it was real, and it was loud. Then 2021 happened. Argentina won the Copa America, ending a 28-year drought in major international football with Messi as captain. Then the 2022 World Cup. Then the 2024 Copa America. 3 consecutive major international trophies in 4 years. Argentina has not lost a major final under his captaincy since 2016. The narrative has completely flipped. Add the 2026 World Cup to that, and you are looking at 4 major international trophies in 5 years. The same player who was doubted by his own people would have delivered the most dominant stretch of international success in Argentina's entire football history. That is a national redemption story on the biggest scale the sport offers, and the setting could not be more dramatic. The 2026 World Cup is in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Messi plays for Inter Miami. He lives in South Florida. He's raising his family there. Winning a World Cup practically in his own backyard at 38 years old in what is almost certainly his final tournament. is the kind of ending that doesn't happen in real life. That is the kind of thing people write films about. It stops being a sporting moment and becomes part of popular culture. The numbers alone already tell the story of an untouchable career. 115 international goals in 196 appearances, making him the second highest international goal scorer of all time. 8 Ballon d'Or awards, more than any other player in history. Over 45 career trophies, the most any individual player has ever accumulated in the history of football. A second World Cup doesn't add to this career. It defines the entire thing. It turns the greatest career of a generation into the greatest career the sport has ever produced. This is the one that hits differently, especially in Argentina. Because over there, Maradona is not just a footballer, he's a national icon. The 1986 World Cup is almost sacred in Argentine culture. The hand of God goal, the goal of the century. 5 goals and 5 assists in a single tournament, essentially carrying a country to the greatest prize in football on pure individual brilliance. For decades, that was Maradona's trump card over Messi. No matter how many Ballon d'Or awards or La Liga titles Messi collected, Maradona had the World Cup and Messi didn't. That was always the argument. Then, Qatar 22 happened. Messi not only won it, he matched Maradona's goal contribution numbers from 1986. 7 goals and 3 assists in Qatar against Maradona's 5 goals and 5 assists in Mexico. He broke the record for most Argentina appearances at a World Cup, surpassing Maradona himself. He won the Golden Ball, and Argentina lifted the title for the first time since Maradona's team did it 36 years earlier. In one tournament, Messi answered almost every argument people had been making for years. But some still say Maradona's impact was more singular, that he carried a less talented Argentina team further on individual brilliance alone. It's a fair point, and it keeps the debate alive. A 2026 World Cup win for Messi collapses it completely. Maradona won the World Cup once. Messi would have won it twice, as the best player at both tournaments, with 2 golden balls to prove it. At that point, the comparison is not even a debate anymore. It's just history. And then you bring in the even bigger picture. That would place Messi among the most successful players in World Cup history, second only to Pele in terms of World Cup titles won by an individual player. Pele won 3 in 1958, 1962 and 1970. No other player has ever come close to winning 3 World Cups. A second title for Messi puts him right behind the only man standing above him. Not behind Maradona, not level with Maradona. A clear step ahead of him and sitting just 1 behind the player, widely considered the greatest of all time. Whether Messi lifts that trophy in 2026 or not, his place in history is already locked in. But if he does, we won't be having a debate about the greatest of his generation anymore. We will be talking about the greatest to ever play this game.